an excerpt from an unfinished story. I hope to finish it if you guys like it. But so this is kind of a make or break. I will use technology as a date. It's from the perspective of a 13-year-old Southern girl. So I'll do my best to, not overdo the accent, but try to do it tastefully, so bear with me. Okay. It's called Love Bugs. When Mama wanted to run off and live the RV lifestyle with a retired sheriff named Jim Stark, I not so politely objected, as teens will do. But after Daddy bunked up with some bleach blonde Jolene, Mama swore she'd ditch this shit town from hell or high water, and as usual, my objection was overruled. And when hell sure enough came in that drought month of June, Mama sputtered westward with Sheriff Jim, leading the congregation to congregate around Reverend Richard and pray for water of any kind, be it high, low, or what have you, while I hid in the old church rafters, with birds' nests made from Marlboros and wolf spiders as big as my hand. You find yourself in funny places when you try to rebel against the rebel. Most nights, while I was holed up in my room writing poems or studying the periodic table, because the hell if I got stuck here too, Mom would have 5 or 6 of her old high school crew over, crank up the Hank 3, and reminisce with a bottle of old times. Sometimes Daddy was there, sometimes he wasn't. It's not like her youth was all that far back, but Mama loved her memory time, which soon turned into dancing time, which soon turned into what we teenagers call a make-out party, except this was more of what adults call swinging. I had to turn up the TV so I couldn't hear anything over the theme songs and laugh tracks. But anyway, Mama's remembering was quick to become rage when I got interrupted by something, like me needing help with homework or wanting something cooked for dinner. Every one of those evenings unfolded pretty much the same. Me running out the front door, my face hot from a fresh slap, down to the last place Mom had ever go. Of course, nobody in the congregation wanted a damn thing to do with the Burns family, so I'd shimmy up an old barn ladder and look down on the pious from those rickety rafters, where the air was filled with dust and amens. Reverend Richard would speak in bursts, where most people would say like or he'd hiss, "Praise Jesus," until the next thought came to him, "Praise Jesus," like a tick. He'd also say this as he cried into the bosoms of housewives after church let out, an act of sensitivity before he'd convinced these poor women to meet Reverend Dick, if you know what I mean. I used to wonder if people's lives are guided by their names, or if someone like Reverend Richard would have turned out different had he been named Francis. The day Mama left, I was pondering this very chicken and egg theory up in the rafters when I spotted Daddy and that Jolene sitting in the front pew, gripping either side of a Bible, their other free hands on each other's thighs. I swear these adults were like rabbits. No, like teenagers. Of course, I wasn't getting much action on account of I was tubby, and spent a good deal of time either writing pointless poetry or peering down upon churchgoers like some kind of pervert. It was lonely up there, but a good kind of lonely. I could clear my head and not think about how I saw my first penis. It belonged to one of Mama's friends, who didn't even try to turn away or pull down his Ted Nugent t-shirt, but to say the least it was a horrifying sight before I got my first kiss. That day a love bug settled on my hand and spread its wings like a book. It was a little early for love bugs, but I guess that was why this one was alone. Soon enough there would be no glass surface safe from the brown-black smear of these horny insects. I knew the days would be long and boring without Mama, but I doubted Sheriff Jim would get too far down I-10 before turning that RV around and kicking Mama to the curb. I surmised they'd get as far as New Orleans, where I was conceived, before Mama proved to be too much for the old lawman. 2 days after they left, I was outside Walmart, sitting on one of those mechanical horses you have to put a quarter in, only I didn't have a quarter. Just sipping a Coke and staring up at this poster of a policeman telling me it was not okay to shake a baby? Duh. The poster was framed behind thick plastic and someone had scratched all kinds of anatomy into it. I was contemplating the sad reason for this poster's existence when I heard the unmistakable luxury sound of an RV bus horn. Now most people use the back end of the parking lot to sleep the night on their way out of this god-awfully long state, but I knew it was Mama before I looked over to see her stumbling down the steps. And down did she go, ass over tea kettle into the parking lot, Sheriff Jim in tow to see if she was okay. When he tried to help her up, Mama kicked at it and lost the rhinestone flip-flop, at which point Jim threw up his arms. Even from a distance, I could tell it was in a polite and graceful way, and off he went on the road to happiness. By this time, I'd snuck up pretty close, hunkered down in a small drain ditch where I could peek at Mama while she cried and cursed God in the Lake County Sheriff's Department. She looked awful and vulnerable, her jean skirt bunched up to her belly button, though that wasn't much of a new look for her. I didn't have the heart to cry out, "I see London, I see France," as I did on such occasions, though I'd altered the rhyme to suit Mama. The Queen ain't got no underpants. No, she looked pathetic. So pathetic I almost felt sorry. Had she not been such a cunt to me my whole life, I might have told her she had a titty loose popping out through one of her spaghetti straps. Unlike me, Mama had a fierce skinniness I hoped to inherit after this awkward phase I was in. It'd be a lie to say I wasn't jealous. When Mama finally got up, all she could do was stumble in circles. Her whitewashed skirt, which was part of her going out nice wardrobe, hula hooped around her hips, no longer white but a collection of denim, grass, and asphalt. She was just whimpering now, which was my cue to come out of the woodwork and offer her a sip of Coke like the angel she thought she'd raised. She didn't look surprised to see me. A big white cloud had covered the sun, but Mama was squinting. "You seen your daddy? I saw that purple-some blonde bitch. You won't guess where." I'd never cursed in front of Mama before, but seeing as how she was at what a teacher of mine had called it a deer, I figured it was time she afforded me the privilege. We shared a minute of awkward silence. A few truckers whistled at us. "Let's go get a pizza," she said, and we followed those greasy truckers into the cold cavern of Walmart. Eating a meal with Mama was like something on one of those safari shows about predators. Every so often she'd look up, tomato sauce on her lips, and say something. "You had your period yet?" "Jesus, Mama!" "What, Faith? I'm trying to make conversation." I could tell the way her legs shook the table that she was about to hightail it out of there once we finished our food. "So this is goodbye, I guess. You always were smart. Got that from me, you know. Not your trained happy daddy. You know that woman he's with is from the church? Like I said, got your brains from me. Why don't you take me with you?" "Faith, you're a big girl. 14. 13. Going on 30. You can take care of yourself without me fucking it up any worse than I have." Mama's lips began to quiver. I'd seen her cry plenty before, but not like this. This wasn't a normal, woe is me because I didn't get my way, crybaby cry. It was real quiet and serious, like on TV dramas. "No respectable man will have me," she said to me, or the space around me. I couldn't help but get sad along with her. I couldn't think of anything nice to say, but I tried real hard and fought the urge to tell her she looked like she just ate a pussy on its period. If you look up Love Hate Relationship, I swear you'll see a picture of me and Mom. A bouquet of roses in one hand and a tire iron in the other. Eventually I came up with, "You look pretty today." "Respect yourself, Faith," was her reply. "Don't go around getting pity fucked and knocked up and stuck here like I did." I didn't know what to say. Mama was already propping herself up. She looked frail and bedraggled. "But you knew that already," she said, as she limped away like an old lady. The automatic doors opened mercifully for her.